I think the audio should be fixed now. So just if anyone in the chat can let me know, and we can rightfully begin with the quali. The track is a little bit over 7 kilometers long, so it will be quite a challenge for the drivers if it starts raining tonight. And now we're watching Sam, who is just beginning his lap. Yeah, it's good to hear, Jordi. Thank you for the help. And we have now Speedy Sam, who is now heading towards turn 5. The RS open, burning down the battery to just increase the straight line speed. Take the curb on the left and hug the curb on the inside, and he was just going so wide. Now you can brake here real light, which is quite difficult. You can lose so much time, especially on a single lap. Now just open up the steering as fast as you can, but avoid the gravel on the outside. Here it's really easy to just lose the rear and completely spin out of the track, so you really have to watch out on that. Yeah, thanks Jordi. Here a couple medium speed corners in which extra downforce will really help out the drivers. And now heading towards the last sector of the track, just flat out until the last chicane. And we have Fanny Jenny, who sets a time of 1:43. We'll see how other drivers manage to adapt to that. And now we have Sebster, who sets a 1:42.7. A really good time by Sebster. Now over the line goes Sam, and he's third fastest. Not a bad lap. We have a couple of fast drivers on the outlaps, including TSM and Yanis, so we're just gonna switch to them. Oh, we have Condolus, who does a 1:42.1. That's a stunning lap from Condolus. And now TSM is about to begin his lap, so I'm just gonna leave him to him. I know how fast of a driver he is, so let's just watch it and see what TSM can achieve. And now TSM is about to finish his lap, so let's see where he manages to finish. Now our exit of last turn, over the line, and TSM goes first by 0.3 of a second. A very, very good lap at the beginning of the session. Now Yanis is also on the exit of last corner or enters. He's just coming fun at this point. There are still lots of cars in the pits. It's really difficult to time it right on this track as it's so long and you can really never know how much time you need to actually warm up the tires and later on do a very, very good lap, as it takes just so long to warm them up. We have a couple of cars who are on outlap, so let's just see. Yeah, Buddy here also on the outlap. It will be quite close in terms of race pace, as on this track especially, the dirty air is not that much of a powerful, and it just really helps because of the slipstream and the DRS. And so we might see quite a lot of fights tonight, especially in the top. Looking at the clouds, but I don't think we will see any rain, at least at this session. Maybe in the race, we'll see. It will definitely be far more interesting than just a dry space race. Buffy now starting his lap. Let's see. Into turn 1 you really want to brake light and maximize the exit speed, as you just go simply flat out and onto a rouge, and you just want to have the maximum of that speed just for the next straight, which is a very, very long straight. Now after the rouge you really burn up the DRS, the ERS, not the DRS. Brake early, hug the outside curb, then hug the inside curb, which later turns into the inside again. Here touch the curb slightly just to get a bit more rotation. He missed it a little bit. Yeah, he went very wide into turn 8, I think. Yeah, it was turn 8. So that lap is not so good. Yeah, it's good to hear it, TSM. It was a very good lap by a very quick one. We might see even a provisional pole here already. Now turn 15, flat out, burn up the rest of the ERS and just try to salvage the most out of this lap, which wasn't the greatest. You have more Weldon. I don't know if it's good for everyone. Yeah, I saw you lock up your tires a couple times, but overall it wasn't that bad. But I guess we'll have to see as Buddy just exits the last corner and he's in first. What a lap by Buddy. He pits Lumbergumber by almost 0.2 of a second. What a lap. And this lap wasn't ideal either. He went wide in turn 8, so this might be quite an interesting fight for Bodhi and Lumbergumber. Yannis retired from the session? I think something happened there. Yeah, I think Yannis might have actually crashed on this straight. Maybe he was warming up the tires too much, got some grass and crashed, which is something that happened to me once, but yeah, let's not talk about it. Strange stuff, I don't know what happened to Yannis. Well, anyway, let's switch to Turtle Master, who is on a flying lap right now. over the line, turtle muscle, and it's also a first best lap time of the session, almost 3/10 up of Bodhi. So I suppose TSM was actually not kidding when he said he still got more. This is sensational stuff. We're seeing drivers just pop faster and faster laps every time. This might turn out to be a really interesting qualifying session, especially for the first few drivers at the top. We have one of the Mercedes cars going slow, but I think it's because of the lack of fuel. Yeah, it is. So cars behind need to watch out for it, so it doesn't ruin their lap time, whatever it may be. Sepster now going on an out. I think it was Sepster. No, it wasn't. Someone is going on an outlap. Oh yeah, it's Sam, okay. I just talked to Yanis about his crash via Discord chat, and it turns out he had no grip on his outlap. And in my opinion, it might have been the cold tires, but he just seemed to have crashed on the main straight, which is not very ideal so early into the session, as he will be forced to start last, whatever happens now, as we have many cars going out, including TSM. Two minutes left in the session. Everyone who didn't do their lap time or just wants to improve has to go out now, as the track conditions will dramatically improve from now on. And also, if you just go out too late, you're done for. TSM at the back of the pack here. He really wants to have the most grip on his final lap. As Turtle Master retires from the session. And it's... yeah, maybe he thinks it's enough to get a provisional pole, but I suppose we'll see. If I were to guess, I suppose it's not. But we're gonna have to wait and see for what the other drivers can do. It's definitely a big gap between TSM and Condols, who are apart by almost 4/10 of a second. So essentially it's top 3 against each other for the pole position. Unless someone in the back has still some fuel in them. But yeah, we just have to wait and see. Condols now on his last hot lap. Now, turn 8. Will he lock up his tires again? He will go a little bit wide, not too much of a time loss, but still. Now he didn't use all of the track and he's got grass on his inside tire, and that lap time is ruined. I don't think he will manage to improve that much significantly to get him to the top 3, so Condolos is out of the fight for the pole position. It's now mostly between Buddy and Lumbergumber to finish the lap times, but I just want to see what Condols can get out of his lap time. And now we have Elias, who just retired from the session or crashed. I think he might have crashed, but we just have to wait and see. Condols now in 3rd sector, going towards turn 19, braking very late, but also you can't go too deep. Take the inside curb, take the inside curb again through turn 19, out of the exit, and onto the finish line, burn up the rest of the ERS, and he improves, but not that much. It's 8 thousandths of a second between him and Lambergumber. What a close. Now we have Lambergumber and Botti, who are both fighting for the pole position here. Danko too, who is in front, just getting a tow from some Haas car. We'll see what he can do. Can he jump in front of Condolas? Did he ruin his lap time? We just have to wait and see. Turn 19, exit. A little bit too wide. But he doesn't. He only improves by 3/10. And that's not enough. Let's switch to TSM, who is now turn 19 exit. And he's second. He didn't beat Turtle Master. So Turtle Master, unless Buddy improves that much, is on pole. And Buddy improves by a 10th. And it's pole position for Bodhi. What a lap by him. Almost above a 10th. Turtle Master and TSM, who are both really fast drivers. What a lap. And that's all of the cars who have completed their laps. So that's how we're gonna begin the race with. And we have Buddy in first, Turtle Master in second by over a 10th. Then it's Lumbergumber very close to Turtle Master, but still not enough. Condolas in 4th, Danko in 5th, Sepster in 6th, Purace in 7th, Tom in 8th, Speedy Sam in 9th, and Elias closing up the top 10. Now it's time for the main part of the weekend, which is the Grand Prix itself. Normally it would be 45 laps, but since we're running 50% length, both in quali and Grand Prix, it's gonna be 22 laps still. Yet still, it's gonna be a massive battle between the drivers and their cars, as you need to have really good tire management to just save these tires and not to be able to do a one-stop. Also, if you overshoot, you're just forced to drive with the puncture, which on this track isn't very ideal because of the very high straight line speed the cars are achieving. It's sunny, so I wouldn't suspect any rain, at least not for now, but we'll see. Anything can happen. That's early safety car, red flag. I hope not, but we're just gonna have to see. Morty is leading the pack with a sensational lap. We will see what he can achieve in terms of race pace. I would suspect all three cars in the top, which is Bodhi, Turtle Master and Lumbergumber, will just run away from the rest of the pack and battle it out between themselves, but who knows, especially in this track. Anything can happen. A crash, a puncture, maybe even an underfuel of the car, so we will just have to wait and see for the lap 1 to end to be able to judge it on that. We have one car, which is Yanis, who seems to have been disqualified. What did happen? What have happened here? Yanis disqualified from the race, starting P15. I wouldn't have expected that before the first qualifying session began. That is very strange. Yanis, which is a very fast driver normally, now just can't drive. I don't know what happened here. Johnson also disqualified. That is some strange stuff happening right now. I don't know what is happening. That's a bit of less worry for the leaders, as they won't have to worry about cars from the back of the pack catching up, as we have the leaders right now lining up on the grid. TSM Lumbergumber really placing his car at an angle just to get an advantage of the other cars on the outside. Everyone is lined up. Yeah, it seems so. As we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And it's lights out and away we go. Body's tolerating the race, having not a batch of a bad start. Turtle Master catching up though, from the outside. Body going very deep into the first corner. TSM losing a position. And now it's 3 white in the back of the pack. TSM seems to have lost many positions right now, as there's a fight between Turtle Master and Condolus. Both of them wanting to earn a position. Turtle Master going on the move on Bodhi. And he seems to have gotten it. Sebster, I think, hit back of the Condolus. So it's sensational lap 1. TSM losing 4 positions. Down into 9th. What happened there? TSM, who started 3rd, is now 9th. What happened to him? That's sensational from him. I've never seen such a bad start from him. Yes, I'm losing 6 positions overall. Elias earning 4, yeah, that's really good by him. I think he's also a rookie, so now he's earning another position, which is very, very good. Turtle Muscle on mediums, he will definitely run away from Buddy until now. He just keeps chopping away the distance, as he has the fresher tires, but especially on this track, the tires just heat up so fast that Bodhi is going to catch up in like 3-4 laps, so he has to really manage these tires to make them last, not to overheat. As Turtle Master is running away, there's also Condolus, who is on fresh mediums behind Bodhi. So let's see if he can use the DRS on lap 2. He's very close. I think he will use it to his advantage, as he goes around the outside, and he will earn the position, as there's also a Vikov Observster on mediums who also has to overtake Bodhi. Bodhi just wants to try an alternative strategy, which might turn out to be a good idea, but if there's a safety car, especially lap 7, 8, then he will be forced to lose a lot of time to pit. And it will be very difficult for him to just make the mediums last. But I guess we just have to wait and see for how the race will turn out. Condol is now really not running away from Bodhi. And Turtle Master still chopping up away the distance, as Lumbergumber is fighting it out with Elias, earning a position. He knows that he has to overtake as many cars as possible right now on these hards and just get it over with to catch up the cars ahead. As his fight is with the cars who are just really far ahead of him. And he knows he has to utilize them as fast as possible. As we have Bodhi, who is really closing it up now on Condolus. He doesn't want to stick it in the dirty air as it makes you use your tires up faster, really faster. So he will probably try and overtake him with DRS on this straight. Sebster also closing it up really close behind. Condolus just doesn't seem to have any pace in him in clean air. It would seem he would have been faster, especially on mediums. But I guess we just have to see as Bodhi goes side by side around the outside and he takes the position from Condolus, who is now under the pressure of Sebster. Sebster trying to fake a move, but he doesn't go for it. Lumbergumber losing a position to Jenny. The DRS is so powerful on this track especially that you just can't do anything. If a car's just within 4/10 of you, you just can't do anything to defend. Condolus lost really quite a lot of time now. I think he lost his rear on the exit there. And now Yanis overtaking Andre and really closing it up to Lumbergumber. Both of them should be really higher up the order, but bad qualification for one of them, and the other one just crashing quali made them lose so much time. And now there's a crash ahead. I think it was Turtle Master who spun from the lead, from a 2-second lead. Turtle Master, what happened there? He seemed to have lost traction and completely fall out of first place into 6th, and now he's speeding. Is there any damage to his car? I think there might be, otherwise he wouldn't have made it. What happened there? Turtle Master, who was leading comfortably, now down into last. But still, there's quite a lot of time for him to catch up, so I wouldn't be too worried if I were him. Now Yanis, who turns out to be on softs. Yeah, there will be a quite nice tire difference between him and TSM by now. And TSM going for the move on Fanny Jenny. Jenny can't do nothing to defend. And Yanis just has too much tire wear to try and go for any sort of move. Lumbergumber saving up the battery at the moment, just to try to catch up to the cars ahead and maybe still fight for a podium of some sort. He started on hard, so he still might have quite a chances to go for it. I wouldn't be too surprised if he managed to catch up to the cars ahead, as they are on mediums and they're the air of each other, so their tires will use up quite a lot faster. Now Buddy, also on hard tires, just can't seem to escape the cars behind him, which are Sebster and Condolus. Condolus now losing quite some time. I think it's just the lack of ARS or just different car setup, and he lacks straight line speed. So it's between Sebster and Bodhi, who are on two different strategies to battle it out for the win. Danko now, I think, spinning also. Bodhi now going through Rouge, flat out, and onto the main straight, using up his battery to just try and hold that position against Sebster, not to get that much dirty air, and just preserve his tires longer and longer to later escape him and carry out the race on his own. But Sebster just keeps on hanging with the DRS, doesn't overtake, but he is there. He is letting him know that he can't completely relax, because one mistake from Buddy can be just enough to make Sebster go for a move and completely change his fate. Condolus now losing quite a lot of time. Now 1.5 seconds, and I don't think he will manage to close that up anytime soon, unless he goes for a different strategy approach. TSM now closing it up on pure race in P4. Yanis still out on the soft tires, which are probably really used up by now. I can imagine he's really struggling to keep it on track, especially at this pace. So close to the gravel, one mistake can send you flying. Just like it did to Turtle Master, who is now on the freshest tire compound. Now Lumbergumber goes for a move before the last chicane. He just has so much grip and so much more confidence than the car behind that he can go for stuff like this. And now he's probably focusing on catching up Condolus and getting in a podium or even catching up the cars ahead. Now we have a yellow flag, and I think that's Speedy Sam retiring from the race, which is not very ideal. Turtle Master on the fastest lap. He has the freshest mediums out of all of the pack, so it's quite clear that he will just keep on banging these lap times. But still, it's quite a big gap for him to catch up. Now Sepster overtaking and then losing a position to Bodhi. Bodhi getting a little bit of the gravel on the exit out of turn 9. He really has to watch out for that, as the more he does that, the more hill tires will get used, and he might just lose the DRS too early to Bodhi, which will definitely not be ideal for his lifespan. I can imagine Sepster just aiming for the victory, obviously a podium, considering his situation for now. But we're just gonna have to wait and see how the race turns out. If there's any kind of safety car, it might turn out to help the people from the back of the pack up to the front, and the other way around, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. Sepster now into the pits. Very, very early. Even if he wants to go for hards, I think it's a little bit too early to go for hards. But yeah, maybe he wants to go for a two-step? No, these are hard tires, so he's aiming at a one-step very early. We'll see how that turns out. As Yanis now still hanging on to Jenny. Jenny really lacking the battery now, same as Yanis. Yanis really has to nurse these tires as long as he can. And if he prolongs it too long, he might get a puncture, and on this track it's gonna be really painful. But we'll see what's his plan for a strategy tonight. A lot of positions made up for him. 8 positions from the start, and you can really see the grading on the front tires. Condolus now dropped out of the DRS to Bodhi by 2.4 seconds, which earlier was 1.4 seconds, and now Yanis goes wide and touches the gravel. So it seems like his tires are giving up right now as he loses the DRS to Yanni, which is essential for him, as the car ahead I think is on mediums. Yeah, it is, so as long as he can keep it within DRS, he's good, as he will get extra lap time. But now that he's dropped out, I think it would be the right time to just go into the pits and change for the hard compound. Lumbergumber now, only 2-second difference to Condolus, really catching up. Almost 3/10 faster on this lap, Lumbergumber, which is very, very good. Cars behind almost a second slower by them, and Turtle Master 2 seconds faster than the leaders. Very good lap times by him. Now Yanis goes into the pits. Lumbergumber made up the position that he lost on the start. He is now 3rd, but I don't think he will try to give up yet on that. He still wants to go for more moves. He still wants to catch up that leader and earn that victory. But the leader is also on hards, and he didn't have to spend that much time in there the air, so he definitely has the tire advantage on TSM. TSM now almost within the DRS reach of Condolus. I think he will go for a move on the next lap, as he doesn't want to waste that much time behind him. Gondolas is on a completely different strategy, he's on mediums, so I think both of them don't want to battle down to him themselves, so they might try to work together. Unless TSM just wants to pass him as soon as he can and carry out a race on his own. Kundl is still ahead, now saving a little bit of the battery, locking up the tires, going a little bit wide, not getting that much curb into turn 18. Now saving the battery on the exit also. It's very essential in the next straight that you have as much battery to burn up. Now locking up again. Kundl is just can't compete with these tires. He just can't seem to brake or turn in, either of that. Lumbergumber now really closing in on the exit. He's got quite much speed over the Kundl, so I think he'll make an overtake here. Yes, he will. He goes down the inside, and he does take the pass before the turn. So Lumbergumber is up into P2. Yanni's now overtaking Yanni, which is very, very good for his race situation. I think both of them might be on a little bit different strats. No, they pitted both for hard, so I think everyone will aim for a one-stop here. No point in trying to go for a two-stop unless there's some kind of safety car. Or a red flag, obviously. Lumbergumber now escaping Kundl by over 2 seconds. So Lumbergumber absolutely flying right now and catching the car up ahead. We still might see some fighting up the front for Bodhi and Lumbergumber, as TSM is completely flying right now. He's almost 3 seconds above Kundl. And it doesn't seem like Kundl is slow, as he's still gaining to Aston behind. Four penalties for 4 drivers for now. 6 seconds for Andre, 3 seconds for Sam, 6 seconds for Elias, and another 6 seconds for the McLaren. The McLaren is really struggling. It's not that ideal as it is in real life. TSM faster by almost 4/10 last lap, and I think it's a penalty for Bodhi actually. Yes, it is. 3 seconds penalty for Bodhi. So that can be a real life changer here, as Lumbergumber really is catching up now, and Bodhi just gets a penalty, which is not ideal for his race situation. What is happening? You can't do that if you're leading the race by a comfortable margin and someone is catching up to you. That can really mess things up in the front. Kundl seem to have pitted for a new tire. It's also hard, so everyone is going for a one-stop tonight, except Turtlemaster, who is now in third on mediums. I think he will still go for hards, but just like later, lap 12, maybe 13. Sebster right now is really working that undercut. He is, if Bodhi and Lumbergumber pit, I think he will be ahead by a slight margin ahead of Bodhi. So it's a very good situation for him. He has all the tires, but he did manage to get a successful undercut. Now a little bit of a lockup for Lumbergumber, who is still banging in the lap times and 4/10 faster last lap than Bodhi. So it's really catching up. 3 second penalty for Bodhi, and now Lumbergumber is 3.4 behind, so it's really, really close to him. Bodhi has to really keep up the good pace and try to salvage the win. Or a P2. Turtle Master now fighting with Sepster. Sepster on, I think, same lap hards. No, he has fresher hards than Turtle Master mediums, so Turtle Master now is significantly slower. Sepster is really desperate to make the pass to try and pursue the cars ahead, not to lose too much time and don't waste his tires that much. As also Candle is behind, is really catching up. His hards are only one lap old, so it's quite a big tire difference between these three. Sepster now taking a completely different line, trying to get some of the clean air just to get more rotation into the car and save the tires. Now really closing it up, using the ERS. I think he might try and go for a move before turn 18, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. Sepster is really closing in on Turtle Master now, but he's not that close to go for any kind of move. He's really close on the exit of turn 19. Burning up the battery, trying to get as close as he can before the exit. Now I think he will be close enough actually to overtake. He went a little bit wide just to get a little bit more of extra speed, but he really lost some distance to Turtle Master. But he will have DRS on the straight, so we just have to wait and see. Is it enough for Sepster to close it up on Turtle Master? I don't think it is. No, it isn't. Turtle Master is still ahead of Sepster. Turtle Master is just defending for his life. The longer he keeps up the cars behind him, then the better his situation will be, as these cars won't pit again, and Turtle Master will, as he didn't use 2 tire compounds yet, so it's a very good situation for Turtle Master now that he can defend. And not very good situation for the cars behind, as they're losing quite a lot of time to the leaders. Gian is still on the verge of the DRS to Yanis. They're, I think, working together just to catch up to Denko. Yeah, I think they are. Denko on hards from the start, so his tires are probably quite screeching now. "13 laps in, 9 laps till the end." The drivers are really forcing to push now, especially the 2 leaders, Buri and Lumbergumber. They really have to push out what's left of their tires and just try to pit, maybe lap 14, 15 for mediums, overtake the cars on hards and just fight out the race. Gianni now just struggling with the air on the exit, losing the DRS to Yanis, and now Tom within the DRS of Gianni. So I think there will be a fight between these two after a Rouge, but we just have to wait and see. Tom on 1 lap fresher tires than Gianni. Gianni just struggling in the dirty air. Tom now trying to go for a move. He's got the DRS, he's got plenty of battery. Gianni doesn't, he goes on the recharge and Tom makes the pass. And he's now chasing Giannis for P7. Turtle Master now lost the position to Sepster. I think it was on the main straight actually, so Sepster now onto the leaders with much fresher tires. And Turtle Master now is going to try and defend against Candlelis and prolong his stop just to have the freshest tire possible at the end. Andre with a 3-second penalty. Not ideal situation for the McLarens, but they're down into P14 and P15, so it doesn't change them that much. Speedy Sam now again with a 3-second penalty. He's gotten plenty of those. Tom now on the verge of DRS to Yanis. I think he might have the DRS. Now Turtle Master into the pits. I think he will go for the hards. Now Tom deep into turn 18. Good exit of the turn 19, but he definitely lost some time in turn 18. He is within the DRS range of Yanis, yes he is. So if he can keep that DRS after Eau Rouge, it will definitely be useful to him and his race pace. Gianni just dropping out of DRS to Tom. He seems to have fallen off the pace in the second stint. Leaders still keeping it on hards. I think they just want to prolong the stint, see who pits first, and have the tire advantage on one another. Lumbergumble lost quite some time actually to the leader. It was around 3 seconds and now it's 4.3, but you can't blame him. He spent more time in the dirty air, so... But we're just gonna have to wait and see. As now Yanis had to have a yellow flag moment with Danko. I don't know what happened there. But he seemed to have overtaken Danko, and now Danko really lacks the pace and Tom tries to go for a move. He's around 9/10 to Yanis and he doesn't seem to have been catching up right now, and Tom goes for a move around the outside and he manages to stick the move. But Danko keeps on standing, but now Tom secures the move. What a move around the outside. Sensational stuff by Tom Ressenhoven. What a move by him. Lumbergumber now into the pits. Maybe he tries to go for some sort of undercut on Bodhi, but I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. As I said before, if someone pits too late, then cars ahead will just be ahead and you might lose quite some time. Now Lumbergumber will have to fight with Sebster out of the Air Rouge. He's really closing up, saving the battery right now. He's really close behind Sebster. He will have the DRS advantage. Sebster now saving the ERS as he knows it's not his fight. And Lumbergumber securing P2. Now clear track ahead of him, which is very, very good for him. He can just warm up his tires and push ahead to Buddy. And Buddy will probably try to pit now and save what's left of his P1, but I don't know how much he will do. He will definitely have cold tires out of the pit exit, and now Lumbergumber has just cleaner ahead of him, which is a very, very good situation. As you can see, it's just Sebster just can't do anything. Lumbergumber on fresh mediums and Sebster on hards. It's just too much of a tire difference between them. Lumbergumber not even using that much of his battery and just escaping. Also catching up to Bodhi. Almost 1.5 seconds now. Made up by Lumbergumber. Now Bodhi into the pits. It will be very, very close between the two, as the time you lose in the pits here is around 20 seconds. So if you make a little bit of a mistake while going into your box, it might cost you a position. But we'll just have to see. Lumbergumber now into the final corner. Bodhi swapping up to mediums. I think Bodhi will be ahead, but he will lack the straight line speed. TSM now into turn 1. Bodhi ahead, you can see him in the distance, but it's not enough. TSM made up around 1 second total, but it was just not enough to catch up to Bodhi. Yanis now losing 10 seconds to Candelus. What happened there? Oh, it's just a tire difference, alright. Danko really losing quite a lot of positions. He was battling out with Yanis and he seems to have dropped far back down the order. Not a good race for Danko, for the Hungarian. TSM now utilizing his tires as they are more warmed up than that they are for Bodhi. So he's trying to use the temps. One of the McLarens happens to retire on, I think, on track, which is not legal. So I suppose FIA will have to deal with that after the race. Lumbergumber now setting the fastest time in Sector 2, which is very good. And it's only 1.6 difference between the two. Bodhi just doesn't have his tires up to temperature yet. And DSM can utilize this and just catch up, especially in the second sector where there are so many turns. Pure is now with another 3-second time penalty. Not ideal by him. Lamborghini now with the fastest time of the race, 1:44.3. If DSM manages to keep it up with 3 seconds to Bodhi, I think it will be enough, as Bodhi's penalty will not be removed. I think it was track limits penalty. We'll have to check that after the race, but yeah, if it doesn't get removed, then 3 seconds to Bodhi will be enough to win the race after such a long way. P8 on lap 1, and now into P2. Kendall is now really closing it up on Sebster. Danko now retiring completely from the race. It's not a good weekend for him. Unlucky for him. Very unlucky. As Kendall is now closing it up on Sebster. 8/10 difference. He can also do that on purpose just to try and preserve his tires before the DRS zone. So just to get a little bit less of the dirty air, he can try to keep more of the distance. Which will be a smart move, but a tiny mistake like this one and he can instantly drop out of the DRS. So you have to really watch out for it. Because a tiny mistake like this can cost you your whole race. Jan is now really losing the time to P6. To P4. P6 catching him up. Yeah, Yanis came a really long way this race. He pitted quite early for hards. And now from P15 he's up to P5, so quite a good race by Yanis. I can't say it isn't. Kendall is now with the DRS, really close with Sebster, but Sebster recharging his battery and it will be enough of a gap for Sebster to keep his position on the podium. Turtle Master now very close with Yanis. And Yanis overtakes. No, Turtle Master overtakes Yanis. Yanis losing another position, but Turtle Master is just on so fresher tires that his race pace is nothing like this of Yanis. Elias now with another 3-second time penalty. I suppose it will be a 2-digit number by now. Yeah, Jan is just really struggling with the grip of his tires. He can do anything to just try and keep it up with Turtle Master. Yeah, it's a 6 lap tire difference between these two. 9 positions made up by Yanis so far. Very good race for him. Lumbergumber now 2.7 behind Bodhi. If he manages to keep it under 3 seconds, the victory will be his, so that's all he has to do. Just keep it in between the 3-second gap. But it won't be that easy, as Bodhi has the tire advantage on TSM. So I wouldn't expect it to be that easy for either of them. Now there's a yellow flag in the back, and I think that's one of the back markers. Yeah, it is one of the back markers. Kendall is now really close with Sebster, and he didn't go for a move. He was really close. I think he could have gotten for a move. I don't know why he didn't. Maybe he wants to save his battery or fuel. But there it is again. Dirty air hits and he just locks up a tire, which isn't ideal for his tire advantage. He's losing the tire advantage that he got because of the dirty air and lockups like this. So he should overtake, but he didn't when he had the opportunity. Maybe he's underfueled and he just has to left off more. We'll see. Now on the verge of the DRS. 1.5, 1.05. Quite a big gap to P3 made up by the leader. Both Body and Lumbergumber seem to have been on another pace level this whole race. Now Condor is caught up and is within the DRS range of Sepster, so it will be a fight between these two again. Let's see. Out of turn 1, Sepster takes a little bit wider line. Condulus tries to get more of the clean air, but Sepster definitely has more straight line speed as he took a wider exit. Now through Erush, Condulus obviously closes up the gap. Now 5 tenths, and I think that might be enough. Condulus burns down his battery. Same as Sepster, now he's on recharge and it's not enough for another lap. Condulus forced to fall back behind Sepster, who is defending for his life just to get that podium. TSM now 2.6. I think he might be on a little bit higher wings compared to the rest, as he just seems to have been getting the delta on Bodhi in Sector 2. And then loses quite a lot of time in Sector 3 and 1. Also, Tom battling out with Yanis for P6. Yanis also defending for some solid points after very bad qualifying. He just crashed in qualifying without really getting a good lap, so he have been forced to start in last, and now he's in 6th, so a very good race by him. Yanis 8 seconds behind Condulus. Turtle Master 8 seconds behind Condulus. I mistook those two. Turtle Master also qualified very well. It was P2 for him, and he just, I think, spun on lap 1. No, it was lap 2, okay. It was lap 2 that he spun on and just lost so much time and got so much tire wear that he was forced to go for a 2-stop. Now we have Condulus, who will try to go for a move on Stepster, and I think he will get it because of he's so close. It's a little bit over 2 tenths now. He opens the DRS, uses up his battery. They will go side by side. Stepster breaks later, and now he cuts the track, and he's in front of Condulus. Condulus dirty air, and he goes wide. Condulus got dirty air and was forced to go wide. He lost so much downforce and just had to go over the curb and into the grass. Two of them battling it out. Condulus now 1.3 behind. I don't know what happened there. Sepster just braking too late, cutting next corner. There will be for sure discussions for that after the race between these two drivers, so we're just gonna have to wait and see what the FIA has to say about this. Yanis now behind Tom, who seemed to have been able to overtake him finally, also after quite a lot of laps. Yanis just really defending very well tonight. Managed to hold Tom up quite a lot of laps, and now he's really onto Tom. He burns up his battery. He's really closing it up on Tom. Yeah, he burns up his battery and he's up his rear bumper. I think Tom wants to swap for the DRS, which is also not a legal thing to do, but yeah, well, fair enough. Yanis now on to the final lap. Condulus now just isn't in the DRS range of Sepster. Yanis now will have the DRS to Tom. Will he get a move on? He definitely has less tire advantage than Tom. Tom pitted later than him, so we will have to wait and see Yanis now burns up his battery. Tom goes to the inside of the track. Yanis burns up his battery. He's very close. They will be sideways. Yanis breaks late. Tom breaks late. Yanis is forced to go off the track, cut the chicane. And he lets Tom pass just to be fair. Yeah, it was a close one between these two. Now we're just gonna have to go for a moment to Bodhi, who just dominated the race completely, and even with the 3-second time penalty, he managed to salvage the win from TSM. It's still really close, but I don't think he will be able to go for a move. Yanis now with a 3-second time penalty, which will make him lose his position, even if he overtakes Tom. Bodhi now wins the race. TSM 2/10 behind because of the penalty. A really well done race by Bodhi. He did it all. TSM also dropped down to P8. He salvaged the most out of his race, so that's a good job for him. Sepster in third, Candelas in fourth. I think, yeah, Turtle Master will be in fifth. He crashed after the line. I don't know what happened here. Yanis, another 3-second time penalty, and there's some stuff happening between these two. That's some strange stuff happening right now. Lumbergumber DNF, but yeah, well, I don't know what happened here. Yanis now drops to P7 because of his penalties. Not very ideal for him. And now it's only one of the McLarens, Elias, and Speedy Sam, and it will be Spa wrapped up pretty much. And here we have Bodhi in first. He completely dominated the rest of his opponents, including TSM, who doesn't seem to have appeared on the podium, which is some sort of a game glitch. But very well deserved for Bodhi, definitely. He did it all. Managed his tires. Yeah, amazing race for him. And here we have our race winner, which is Bodhi. The fastest lap goes to TSM Lumbergumber. Driver of the day is Yanis, and most overtakes goes to Turtle Master, which is understandable. And here we have our after the race results. TSM told me that he left too early, which is not ideal for his race situation. But yeah, there we have your winner, which is Bodhi, Sepser in second, and Turtle Master in third, which might be sorted out behind the scenes by the FIA, as TSM just happened to leave too early and it didn't save his race results. But that's pretty much a Spa wrap-up. Very nice race. Quite a lot of things happened, definitely on lap 1. And yeah, well, see you guys next week.